on the other side, you talked about these players, the experience on this roster. They're not going to make this an easy best of 5 for Space Station.
Yeah, we saw earlier, right? King J, Kratos, and their squad, seemingly the better team if you just looked at it on paper, but chemistry, cohesion, teamwork, communication, so crucial in Halo. And I gotta assume with all the rapport these guys have on Triggers Down, this might not be an easy series here for SSG despite the seed disparity. So very excited to see the return of one of these legacy brands here on the broadcast. As a former MLG Halo pro that used to compete against Triggers Down back in 2009-8, this is really exciting for me, so I can't wait to get into it.
Well, I hope they live up to your anticipation. We're excited to watch this series. Now, round 5 of the winner's bracket had several matchups going to the game 3. We saw some live looks at some of those matches as they were going down. Definitely shows that the intensity is building throughout this bracket. We know that there's only 4 qualifying spots from today's tournament. So every round we move forward, it's going to just get tighter and more competitive. But right now, we're gearing off. Capture the flag. Aquarius is where the teams need to get started.
Ace going down very quickly. 2 more for Space Station. Going down as well for a total of 3. And this is an opportunity to get map control, camo control, and potentially an early flag out if your Triggers Down.
Now, important first is to go after those power-ups we talked about. We saw the heat wave in action. You have the active camo. Even dynamo grenades can be a huge player on this Aquarius map. And you're going to see all of those in action before even the first flagpole comes through, because controlling the map will allow you to run the route with that flag. So Huss is trying to create some space here. 2 players from Space Station around the corner. He's going to find Collect, weakened, and going to clean it up with the commando. And now he's going after Ace. Great damage across. Doesn't have much help, but he threads the needle down the lane with those BR shots. A great play coming out from Huss.
Huss now the last member of alive for his team, and it is so crucial that he stays alive here. If he could just milk his life, he doesn't look like he's very likely to stay alive as he does just that. He goes down, doesn't really milk much of that life, so this should be a better chance than I'd say like a base chance here for SSG to get this flag in, as Huss tried his best to milk his life, wasn't really able to. 2 still down for Triggers Down, and that flag now finally going out for Suppressed, as we look like it looks like we will see that flag go in for SSG as they take the early 1-0 lead.
I like the pause there. This is an early 1-0 lead, right? And it certainly did come through. I love the play there from Collect. He took down Huss, and then he maintained that high mid-map position, that high ground, allowing Suppress to get some cover as Suppress picked up the flag and then ran it back. But now Space Station Gaming are fighting from the back of their base after that capture. Tylenol gets a nice little double kill and then helping on another kill as well. But if you're looking at overall map control, I'd say that Triggers Down have the advantage if they can exploit it.
Yeah, so far the eye test, if you will, looks about even despite the score being 1-0 for Space Station here. Gonna look to see who can get control of this camo next, as Ace does just that. Doesn't look to waste a single second as he continues pushing up to Carbine, but that aggressive play is gonna leave him down to 1 shield. Let's see if he can milk this camo for all it's worth here. But here's a good thing. Triggers Down is eliminating Ace's ability to really start to like get into a groove with that camo, right? They've been keeping him at bay. Ace now finally getting a chance to do that as he takes down Nebula. Gets the break kill, but 2 are down for Space Station here. So Ace is really just going to try to stay alive, right? He's going to try to make an impact here. Maybe get a back smack, as he does just that on Huss. But you see, it was smart there because he didn't give up the intel by shooting early. As a result now, it's all a domino. Everything is a cause and effect here in Halo. As 3 go down, Ace doing his part to take all 3 of those members down and get this flag just about to the halfway mark.
He does make a huge play there with the camo. It started off a little bit slow where he couldn't regen the shield. It seemed like every time the shield was just about to come back up, he took another hit of damage and had to start back over on that shield regen process, but the patience paid off, and Ace was able to break his way through to the base with a nice little back smack, a little cleanup with the side kick and the melee, and now they have the second flag right. This is like deja vu of flag number 1. Stopped right here at the middle, and now Space Station Gaming kind of taking a quick pause to regain map control and are happy to wait those few seconds to continue running the map. I think they're going to come out with a 2-0 right here.
Yeah, almost mirror images here on both these 2 caps. Almost so much so that you'd wonder, like, well, where's the flag at? They had slays, they had the flag out, and then it gets stopped right there at almost the 50-yard line, and almost turns into a Team Slayer match for a little bit there. Space Station doing a great job at recognizing the situation to make it a 2-0 game.
like running the flag in segments really working out for Space Station Gaming. And over the past, 10 matches of Capture the Flag, they are sitting at 7-3. But one interesting thing, credit to Mr. Snow for the stats, is if Space Station Gaming gets 3 captures, they have a 100% win ratio. They've won every game from those last 10 on Capture the Flag if they get that 3rd capture. So that could make this the most important flag and maybe the last chance for Triggers Down to mount a defensive effort.
Yeah, that is quite the win condition here. If you're SSG, if your Triggers Down, you want to do everything you can to get that flag return, as they do just that, taking down Depressed as well. And a little bit of a players alive advantage for Triggers Down here, as Nebula pushes into the base, and that would have been so huge there. But SSG doing a great job to both come back as a unit, come back together, turn that into a 2v1 scenario as Collect goes down, Suppress goes down, Hysteria showing he's still got it in those old hands, as he's got the Heat Wave as well, and he's pushing up Tylenol, Collect, and another ace in his eyes as well. Hysteria potentially putting his team on his back here as the assist comes down. Tylenol goes down, looking to take down Collect again as he takes down Huss, and Hysteria, recognizing that he needs to regain map control, leaves the base and goes back to top mid. I like that play.
That was a huge play there from Hysteria, using the Heat Wave, the dynamos, and just everything. The flag is like 80-90% of the way back, but Triggers Down still need to finish the rest of that run if they're going to get the score on the board. They do have another pickup of the flag. They're just steps away as they punch it in. So not only are they stopping Space Station from hitting that critical 3 capture line, but now they're also only 1 away from tying this game. And a lot of that had to do with Hysteria's map position, slaying, and just the pressure he was providing throughout that little flag run.
Yeah, in just a matter of moments, this goes from 100% win probability for SSG to being a 100% in it if your Triggers Down as they go 3 down. Unfortunate there. I'm not going to call that a caster's curse after what we saw earlier. But Collect doing his best to push up. He's got his teammate below him, and he's going to look to regain that map control here. He's going to have quite the fight here as Hysteria just up ahead. I don't think Hysteria knew that Collect was there. Otherwise, he might have helped him, should have helped him there. No, there's no way he knew Collect was there, because Hysteria looking clueless there in the bottom of the generator as he goes down as well. Collect using that pistol. I love the use of the sandbox here, and he goes back for the dinos as well. He must be listening to the cast, it seems, because he has a lot to work with in his toolbox.
Got a trap here. The spawn from Triggers Down, and Space Station Gaming with the slays that we saw coming across the board also were able to win out the active camo. So a lot of this flag push that we're seeing from the viewpoint of Collect was due to that mid-map control to win out the power-ups. And you got to include the dynamos. Collect putting them to work to try to run that flag. But now he seems to be catching all of the incoming fire. Flag's going to stop here for just a minute. And this is the only time we've seen Space Station Gaming taking a little bit of a different route. Instead of stopping at that halfway point, they pushed all the way past, but the flag is reset. A great response from Triggers Down.
Yeah, that was huge there. I did not think that Triggers Down was going to have any chance at stopping that flag. Why? Because Collect, very heady. He pulled the flag early. He got that extra 1 to 2 seconds you'd need on that run because he knew the dinos were going to essentially be putting in the damage for him as he let those go at the back of the base. Coach Cobb letting go himself as he goes down as well. Hysteria looking to clean up and get some revenge on Collect. As this one is back and forth here, despite SSG looking like they had come out on top, this one is really anyone's game. Hysteria has to stay alive here. He has the teammate support. That's a 2v1 scenario. You got to take advantage of your numbers there. Instead, Nebula going to go down as well.
What was a 2v1 ended up as 0-2. Both players from Triggers Down end up taken out, and Space Station Gaming able to rally and regroup to get both kills on the board. And with that, they're going to piggyback this push. Collect with some great grenades and BR fire. Picks up both a kill and an assist. He's trying to challenge all the way across the refrigerator. Coach Cobb has the experience to, counter that, but it's not going to be enough. Triggers Down go 4 down, and now Ace is running that flag back. No need to stop at the halfway mark if you can run it the full length of the field.
Yeah, and speaking of Coach Cobb, they might need him to put on the coach's hat because Triggers Down need somebody timing these dynamos. Have you noticed Collect seemingly with it on a timer? He's gotten the last 3 or 4 dynamos, and it's a reason they've been able to maintain this 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely right. Dynamos have been a huge factor throughout this match, and we're looking here now as the delay came through.
This is big.
The space station were able to grab the flag, toss it out of the base, and what looked to be like a guaranteed capture coming through. Now Nebula is picking up the flag and trying to reverse it right back. This would be the game time capture if they continue running it, but of course with the active camo, Nebula really not the player you want to be running the flag, giving away your position. Let him free roam and pick up opportunity kills, and hopefully from this position he can do just that. But we have flags everywhere. We toss out of the bases left and right. He gets the takedown, hopefully buying his team enough time to get a touch on the flag and the reset.
Yeah, and SSG, let's be honest, should have had maybe one or two of these last couple of runs here. Let's see if they can finally punch this in. But because of the one score there for Triggers Down, they're going to be in this till the very end. But they need to keep it close here. Aquarius doesn't take very long to score flags, but you don't want it to get too out of hand, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. It can start to run away from you quick, and with a 1-point game, you know, it's really anybody's shot at this. We have just over 2 minutes left in the time, and it's starting to look more and more likely that we'll go to time instead of captures, unless, you know, something miraculous happens. And sometimes captures the flag Aquarius, those captures can come through really quickly. Triggers Down are going to try to do that as they get number advantage on the board. Hysteria grabbing the flag, has a player to kind of cover his back, rotating this flag through. It's
Huge.
Coach Cobb trying to play the stall. Stall factor allowed Hysteria to rotate the flag across the map.
And just like that, Triggers Down seemingly just barely keeping their neck above water here in this game 2. But just like that, because of the clutch factor on all of these recent returns, they go on the offensive. And all it took was one try to tie this game up at 2.
And Ace now trying to answer right back with use of that heat wave. And there's the Dynamos finally in the hands of somebody else here, Makowski. So maybe Space Station is getting a little bit more time on it. And Ace is breaking his way into the base of Triggers Down.
But it's still in the hands of SSG, right? And I love the play. I love the recognition of the situation there from SSG. The best time to run a flag is when another team scores. Doesn't matter if it's your team or the other, because of the amount of resources that are used to score flags here. That's a great counter cap from SSG.
No, my mistake on that one. I called out Ace pushing into the opponent's base and said he was helping to escort his own his flag back to their own base. So I had that a little bit flipped, but with that capture coming through, that's the 3rd capture for Space Station. And if the last 10 games tell us anything, if they get 3 captures, it's a 100% win. It's left to Triggers Down and only 45 seconds to say that that is not going to be the case. But Nebula finds himself in a tough spot here in the utility, and Ace just lasering with those heat wave shots, going to take him down.
Yeah, SSG with the lead here with just 30 seconds left. It kind of changes the way you can play this, right? You can play it a little bit more defensively. However, you don't want to park the bus. You don't want to start playing not to lose here. So I love the emphasis there to take down Huss. SSG doing their part to maintain the aggression, maintain the map control, and maintain control of this 3-2 lead.
Hysteria here rotating back, knowing there's 2 players. It might be in a little bit more than he can handle. He does desperate for the flag, but the defense from Space Station answers. But right now, 3 go down for Space Station. Suppressed is last alive, and with being the last alive, a clutch double kill to hold that line of defense.
Oh, and Hysteria I know you see at less than 10 seconds, right? The UI splashes red. You think there might be an alarm in your head, right? But he had time. He had crucial time. In fact, he had 5 seconds at least. And at the very end, with his teammates all pushing up to that flag, he would have potentially had a collective 3 versus 2 where you have numbers in that flag out. So very crucial end game there. As a result, SJC is going to take it 3-2.
Solid game over there from SSG, but with a team that is ranked number 1 in this tournament, I wonder if just a 1-point capture advantage is going to leave them satisfied, or are they going to be hungry for a more dominant win, you know, coming forward in the series. Plus, with that, I feel like there's still, like, the door is cracked open for Triggers Down, right? They only lost by 1 capture. They were definitely outslayed by the power of Space Station Gaming, but there is still that glimmer of hope. And when you're looking at a best-of-5 series, there are multiple matches where Triggers Down could make this a comeback.
Yeah, I still like Triggers Down in this series. I may not like them as the eventual winner, right? Surely is in favor of SSG is just as far as an odds-on favorite, but Triggers Down doing enough in that last game to show they have the potential, right? You've got Hysteria, you've got Neighbor, you have guys who know what they're doing in these types of late winners round scenarios. So to be curious, I'm gonna be really watching for Hysteria and Neighbor, and honestly, Huss and Nebula, right? Like, let's see how these 2 more younger players sort of mold into, or like what kind of cohesion they're able to develop with two veterans and two more relatively younger players.
Yeah, I think that Triggers Down can take a lot of positives from that game one, but the weight of responsibility is back on them now to mount a comeback. Of course, they are the underdog in this matchup. Like, everybody can see that SSG is the favorite to take it, but that leaves a lot for Triggers Down to prove, and sometimes players really can perform at an even higher level if they have a little bit of that mentality of, we need to play at our best if we're going to take this. And that's what we need to see from Triggers Down. They need to be firing on all cylinders in game number 2 if they can tie up that series. So we're going to be on Slayer Recharge, as you can see in front of us, and Hysteria, you know, one of those young upcoming players, a competitor coming out with a nice double kill, really setting a great pace for Triggers Down in game 2.
Triggers Down winning the break, winning the camo as well. Let's see what Neighbor can do as he looks to put this to good use. Has the information from his teammates here as he's noticed the location of Suppress. Looks to get some shots on early on him. Doesn't want to trade here. Doesn't want to especially die with this camo. So I love the patience from the veteran there, Neighbor. Love it. Did you see how he re-engaged with full shields? Very, very smart play from the veteran Neighbor as he looks to maybe get a little bit extra out of that camo. No, it's just now gonna go away. But he still doesn't have intel, right? That next kill on Collect, he may not have had camo there, Magic, but it was still a result of earning camo and playing with it, right? So may not have been active on the field at that time, but I still put that kill, attribute it to the camo.
Yeah, I agree, because you're able to rotate the map where you want to pretty much with the camo and use it for that positioning as well, which is what he did when he kind of went into the bottom of the tower. Unfortunately, I don't think he knew that Ace was on the C platform, so a good little pinch there from Ace. And, you know, Space Station was aware of positioning. But with that said, Triggers Down starting the game the way they would want, with a nice little 3-point lead. And Huss with the shock rifle in hand already has 3 assists on the board. Now looking to add to the kill count rather, with a nice little cleanup with that shock rifle. Barely misses on what would have been a double kill, and on the hunt with Collect right around the corner on the top of a ledge, crouching with the energy sword. Shock rifle versus energy sword. Collect going for the run, but the team fire and the distance allows Triggers Down to come out on top of that.
And the timing was just a little off there. Collect probably heard in the comms from Ace that they're pinching on top A, so Collect pushes through that A door, but Ace wasn't quite up far enough on the steps to really pull attention and some damage away as Collect goes down, loses the sword that should be in the hands of Triggers Down now as they cling to a 14-13 1-kill lead, just like that. Excuse me, this one's tied here as Tylenol is Blue 1 taking on an engagement with the Commando and loses that close range engagement, and we're seeing just bodies drop. Camo in the hands of Collect though, because he had the sword as well. He has the sword as well. This is going to be a very interesting play here. You're going to look to see maybe 2 or 3 go down if you're Collect.
2 players at the back of pipes here, and you talked about the sword camo, but also the grapple, which can help close out that range. But the answer back with the plasma pistol, they were ready for the rush from the sword camo. They had that plasma pistol charged up enough for them to get a trade, and what should have been a double kill, you know, is even back out, and we're left at this tied score line.
Yeah, Triggers Down seemingly calling a play right there to all be on the ready for that sword pushing up. You saw one player with the battle rifle out, the other with the plasma pistol to deplete the shield. So a great use of teamwork and strategy there from Triggers Down as they're in this 20-20 early in the game, or excuse me, reaching the midway part of this game.
Well, Tylenol right there, you know, actually went in for the melee cleanup, and I would have loved to see him win it outright as they had multiple bursts on Coach Cobb early on in the game. Coming out with a trade is a little bit underperforming, I think, in that scenario when you have the damage advantage. But Hysteria almost able to counter Collect with the energy sword, lands the melee. Collect is able to regroup and come right back with a nice little sword slice.
And that was huge. Having the Commando out was actually the difference maker. One of the recent patches in Halo Infinite decreased the melee damage for everything but the battle rifle. So something you have to be heady for if you're a Halo player. You got to keep in mind that if you're going for that melee finish, especially on a sword, you're going to want that battle rifle out instead.
What a perfectly placed grenade right there. The fight for the sword continues as Nebula cleans up a double kill. Meanwhile, off screen, we see that the shock rifle is in the hands of Ace, and here he is on screen, and he uses that laser of a shock rifle, maybe even some chain reaction damage, to pick off some nice kills, just using that hallway to his advantage to tighten that line of sight, that range of the shock rifle. So a nice little takedown right there as you see the power weapons kind of coming up against each other. But now Suppressed, no power weapons in hand, but some teammates to try to trap with. You see Ace on the rotation, and the trap comes through, and Nebula and Huss are both taken down in long hallway.
Yeah, look at the teamwork from SSG running through as a unit, almost like a SWAT team over at C, as Coach Cobb is going to have a tough fight against Tylenol. He's going to go down as a result. A medley of players over at C platform here, so a very important battle for positioning and map control. And I believe the shock rifle as well. I'm not sure where or if that's down on the map or in the hands of a certain player. And another thing, going back to the commando, I'm noticing a lot of it in this game, right? More so than you typically see in the HCS. I'm not sure if that's a result of these guys playing in the Louis V Titan Tuesday Last Spartan standing tournaments, where you get a lot of commando usage, but very interesting to see different weapons being deployed here. As Suppressed looking to use that trusty BR. He's down to no shields. Ace looking to collapse and pinch on the two players that Suppressed was just fighting. But he has to be smart here because Suppressed left that. Suppressed doesn't have his help anymore here. So if Ace is going to engage, it's going to be in a 1v2 probable scenario here. So he's got to be very careful. That's right. And now he's called out. Now he's one shot, but he's got the help with Collect. Here's the bait and switch. This is great comms from SSG. I don't know if Triggers Down knows that Ace has accumulated help here as it pushes ahead through the long haul. Collect to help a buddy, the duo for Ace in the time being, but Ace going down and Collect going down as well. So a chance here for Triggers Down to maybe bring this one back. You're in the late stages of this game.
Triggers Down just sitting on the sneaky there, waiting for the players to run past and then jumping down right, behind them. Really good patience and positioning there from Triggers Down, but now is the point of the game where they need to slow it down because it's starting to just run away. 9-point lead right now for Spacestation Gaming. Triggers Down to have about one more chance to regroup, kind of stop these split spawns and take the command of the game. But as we say that, Ace, who's been, absolutely slain for his team, comes out with another crucial kill. We saw the killing spree come through for Ace earlier, sitting at 11 kills, but only 5 deaths. Just really playing some smart Halo and preserving that life. As more kills come through, trade for trade is not going to be enough if Triggers Down are going to get back in this game. And there's only 2 points left for Space Station to go up in the series 2-0.
Yeah, this is a massive one for SSG because right as it looked like you might have just cracked that door open a little bit for Triggers Down, SSG does what it's supposed to do, beating the inferior opponent here in this match as they need just 2 more kills to secure game 2.
Did love to see that perfect come through for Huss with the shock rifle, really making the most of their equipment they have and utilizing that sandbox. They have Ace a little bit pinned at the top of tower, knowing that the shock rifle is watching. And this right here might just be the calm before the storm. Space Station just need one little chink in the armor of Triggers Down to finish out this win. And Triggers Down cannot afford to give up any more lives. So you see a little bit of a hold here. Both teams looking for that window of opportunity, and it looks like Coach Cobb is going to find it. He's going to take down Suppressed.
This is a game right now, and the fact that SSG is so willing to park the bus and wait for that first pick shows that they have a lot of respect here for their opponents on Triggers Down. So a very interesting end game approaching here as we've got a 1v1 on Ace. He's gonna win that as SSG wins game 2, 50-43.
Solid little game 2 there, similar to game number 1 where SSG come out with the victory, but a fairly close scoreline, especially compared to some of the series we saw earlier on. Right there at the end of the game though, we saw Triggers Down kind of getting trapped and cornered back in long haul, and Space Station Gaming capitalizing on it. So a great win coming out from them. I really have to credit Ace showing up on the highlight reel multiple times, but also the survivability, which I think sometimes goes underrated. This little fight there, Hysteria with Collect.
Look at that HP.
Almost came out with a trade against his sword, but Collect was able to milk his life in that scenario.
Yeah, and speaking of capitalizing, I would have loved to have seen Triggers Down doing a little bit more of that, as they had early control, right? They won that opening break, they won the camo. And in Slayer, in Halo Infinite, one of the more difficult Slayers in recent memory to come back from. So crucial to start off hot and carry that momentum all the way through. Unfortunately, Triggers Down not able to do that despite winning that first engagement and despite getting that first camo. Just wasn't enough.
You can see on the scoreboard a lot of close, kill-death ratios, but Ace being the standout with the survivability, comes out with a 9.3 KDA. But Coach Cobb, was that a 70% accuracy? Absolutely lasering with the shots across the map. You love to see all that practice and all the time put into this game really showing up there on the accuracy line.
You know what? I think since FaZe isn't playing today, Snipe Down, he picked up the sticks, right? He's playing for Mason right now. He's just incredible shot prowess there. 70%. Wow, that is accuracy the likes that, like I said, you might see from a Snipe Down or a Lucid, right? So very impressive performance there from Coach Cobb. as he looks to bring his team back in this. Gonna need a reverse sweep though, as they're down 0-2. And what's our next match? Because I'd love to kind of talk about what potentially they need to do. We got live fire on Oddball. Okay, I actually think that this is a good potential here for Triggers Down. The reason being, Recharge Slayer is a little bit more of a setup type of map game type combination, and now you go to live fire, which leans live fire Oddball, which leans even more into that, right? So I think if Triggers Down can get a nice hold and get a nice setup, maybe win a couple overshields, control that sniper, maybe we see some OG plays from the likes of Hysteria and Neighbor with that sniper. I think they can bring this one back and at least make it a series.
I would love to see that happen. I don't want this to be a 3 and done, you know, for our sake, for the viewers, for the competitors, but especially for Triggers Down. You know, they're coming out as the underdog in this matchup. We knew that was going to happen, but we want to see them take this series as far as they can, but it is going to come down to this game number 3. I want to give you a quick update. Meanwhile, on another section of the bracket, we have another pretty key matchup, one we were debating watching, but I'm happy with where we landed. This is Incognito versus Oxygen, and Incognito actually take game 1 4-3. There was a little bit of a comeback in the middle of the match from the side of Oxygen. They were initially down 3-1. They come back, get 2 on the board, but at the end of the game, it's going to be Incognito coming out on top. So they lead the series 1-0. Another couple of teams to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, going to be very interesting. I'm so curious to see where Oxygen goes, because I just, if I look at one of the teams in the league that's the quote-unquote Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the community and of all the teams we have here, it's Oxygen Esports, right? They can look like a top 8 team sometimes, and then they can look like they're in the bottom 8, right? So it's very, very intriguing to see the disparity. If you're Oxygen Esports, you want to start to find that consistency, and you could do it here in this tournament today as we build our way into the Super.
I mean, speaking of that matchup real quick, and then we'll head back to the match at hand, but Oxygen is coming in today as the number 6 seed and Incognito as the number 3. You'll recognize names on the Incognito roster. We got Carmea, Onvor, Arctic, and Tony, so definitely 8 players to keep your eye on, but the lead right now in the favor of Incognito in that series. But we're on to game number 3 right here, right now, where Triggers Down have this last chance to make a comeback in the series.
And look at this, again, another match where Triggers Down wins that opening break. Despite the series being 2-0 here, Triggers Down is in this. If they can win this game and bring it back, make it 2-1, in game 4, they win another early opening break and just start to develop that momentum and start to snowball a little bit, there's still ways that they can come back here.
Well, if this is the game to do it, right? Oddball is actually the worst game type for Space Station Gaming. So if there's an opportunity for Triggers Down to exploit a weakness, it is right here. In the Pro Series, Space Station Gaming is 3-3 in Oddball, and they're 4-5 in Open Series. So as opposed to like a Capture the Flag where they have a great winning record, right now Space Station have something to prove, maybe even to themselves, that they can control a game mode like Oddball.
Control of that sniper rifle, however, in the hands of Hysteria, though, as he drops back into A, so he's not going to have that almost like power position. Okay, there he is, back in the power position to sniper him. I love that spot there at top A sandbags, especially looking down at B here. Spots the flanker suppressed as a result of the repulsor, delays the inevitability of going down there. As Hysteria continues with control of that sniper rifle. Oof, could have had a remote detonation go down there. Pretty heady play and positioning there from Hysteria. Doesn't spot anybody yet. And just look at that. 10 seconds left until this camo, or excuse me, this OS comes up. It'll be very interesting to see what teams elect to rotate for that, as all 4 go down for Triggers Down. And they're going to almost have to just hope that they get a dummy spawn or an A spawn here and can get closest to that overshield.
And Collect made a great flank play there, picking up a double kill before Hysteria found him out and was able to delete him, but the damage has been done. The only benefit of this team wipe, if you can call it that, is on the respawn. Triggers Down are able to control the overshield, but the objective play is in hand. Collect also picking up a double kill. The ball was forced to be reset, so if you're gonna go 4 down, Triggers Down are really making the most out of a bad situation. They're making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah, they were fortunate there. They did end up getting those almost dummy. They got actually the spawn in between A and dummy. I saw one player spawn directly on the overshield, so a little bit of a gift from the gods there, if you will, for Triggers Down, as the favor is trying to fall in their fortune, but instead all 4 fall once again. for Triggers Down. SSG opening up a commanding lead here in game 3.
I couldn't do anything, Makowski, but kind of cringed right there. Back-to-back team wipes, looking like a spot of trouble for Triggers Down. You know, collect 9 kills on the board, and now also getting some objective time. Suppressed had the heat wave. You see the takedown there before he is removed. So hopefully Nebula able to clean up that heat wave, if I'm not mistaken, should run into Ace. But the team fire coming through right now. Tylenol and Ace working together to defend the Seaside ramp, and then Suppressed kind of left to roam, lone wolf style, cleaning up the final kill. Triggers Down are going to be struggling to get back into this round.
Yeah, pressed, the keyword there, and Suppressed as he pinches Neighbor, takes control of the sniper back, and looks to put it to good use here as he pre-fires through dummy door. Doesn't spot an opponent. Overshield once again coming up in 20 seconds. Going to be very curious, but we might have a game essentially, a round under wraps here before that overshield even pops up, as SSG needs just 20 seconds here to win round 1.
Here comes the answer from Triggers Down. You see 3 go down for Space Station Gaming. Last alive is Tylenol. He's really trying to make the most of it, using the repulsor for a quick getaway. Smart play here to preserve his life and rotate back to where the teammates are respawning. But Tylenol's going to find himself in a fight here, the 2v1 now. So that retreat right there from Tylenol, able to regroup with Ace, and then they push the fight in a 2v1. Sniper in hand, cleaning up that kill on Husk, and now knows there's a player down below. It's going to be Coach Cobb, but Tylenol is not giving enough time to regen the shield, running into Coach Cobb with the heat wave.
Here we go, and a chance to set up at Snipe Tower. Snipe in possession of Coach Cobb. This could be a chance for Triggers Down here to come back in this game, score some points of their own as they pass the 30-second mark. A good hold here for Triggers Down.
This is what they need. You know, the 80-point mark has been hit by Space Station in round number 1. It was starting to look like it was all but over. So Triggers Down showing some signs of life, and Coach Cobb is delivering death to the other team in the form of that sniper. And now with the heat wave at the ready, did manage to get the melee off, or it wasn't enough for the kill at least, but does come through with that assist. And now Hysteria likely going to play the ball as the pressure comes through, using the repulsor to try to back Tylenol away, is not able to survive. But this fight for the Oddball could be the deciding factor in round number 1, as Ace sneaks it away, and they only need to defend for 1 push from Triggers Down if they can take this round.
Yeah, if that Oddball can get around the corner right here as it does just that, this is going to be very difficult for this is going to be very difficult for Triggers Down, but Triggers Down somehow getting the grenades and the angles needed to take down the Oddball. Tylenol, I love this play, doing a great job of just staying alive, being a nuisance. And if he gets Coach Cobb, it's just a cherry on top as he does just that. 3 alive for each team here. Crucial moments. Not very much time needed for SSG, just 13 seconds. Triggers Down still needing 40 here, so Triggers Down needs to just slay out here. I like that. Hysteria not going for the Oddball there. Elects to continue to slay out. He knows his team needs more players down from SSG. They want to get control of the Oddball. Coach Cobb doing his best to stay alive. No, he goes down in the melee. And Ace looks to push the finishing touches here on round 1.
It looks like that's going to be it for round number 1. Oh, 5 more seconds, rather. I misread the time on the clock, but Ace is playing that platform. He's trying to buy every last second, and as he flies through the air toward the water,
he did the
he's
neighbor.
getting enough time on the clock for the win.
Oh, you love to see it. A play reminiscent of when Triggers Down faced Believe the Hype, I believe, in, I want to say 2009. Neighbor flying off the map, getting the last crucial seconds there. Which reminded me of some wonderful, wonderful Halo memories. As we relive those with the chat. Ace looking to relive another round 1 as he looks to stack 2 up and secure the sweep here. SSG looking very good here in this series.
This would be the sweep for them if they can take it 3-0. Triggers Down, they made some good progress in round number 1, but they need to win out this Oddball. I mean, I wish it was as simple as that, but just great slaying from the side of Space Station, making that really difficult. Collect was the kill leader, and now we see it last alive is Ace on the side of Space Station. That's going to be all 4 down. They're going to respawn. Triggers Down need to get time on the Oddball right here.
Now, we didn't see it right there from Ace, but the key, the reason for what we're seeing here in this game, Magic, is SSG's resiliency when they only have 1 player left alive.
Yeah.
That last player alive continually staying alive, and sometimes even going above and beyond to get another kill, as we saw Tylenol do that at the very end of round 1. So I got to give props to SSG for doing a great job under the last player alive.
Oh, and Hysterio's left in that position. But did you see that? He tried to play the ball. Was it a repulsor?
Did it repulse? Was it a nade? That was unbelievable.
Something deflected the ball back into safety. So what would have been an easy play ball from Hysteria? Instead, Space Station say, thank you. We have the defensive position that we want. They don't have to rotate. They don't have to win out the ball. They just stole it out of the cold, dead hands of Hysteria.
Yeah, in sports, you always talk about the 50-50 balls, right? That was a 50-50 ball, seemingly flying in the air and the balance and weight as SSG able to get regain control of that here at the back of Snipe Spawn. But don't look now, Trigger's down, doing a good job here in this round. They're pretty close, down just a few seconds, but SSG has the snipe control. SSG has the ball control here. They'd be very curious to see what Trigger's down needs to do to break that setup.
SSG also has the heat wave and they have the overshield spawn on lockdown. But as I'm saying that, Collect is taken down, Tylenol is taken down. This overshield win could be crucial. Looks like it's going to end up in the hands of Coach Cobb. So all of a sudden, a shift of the force of power. You still see that Ace has that heat wave, making some use of it as he's tracking down Coach Cobb. Coach Cobb with the awareness to turn around, finish off that kill, and just fighting in an almost undefensible position. Here comes the heat wave from Ace, but bodies left and right, and who's gonna scoop up the rest of this ball? This is still one of those 50-50s.
Yeah, very surprised. Honestly, I thought Neighbor overheld or overmilked, if you will. The first time the rotation through to the tunnel was great, right? Because he had the overshield. He could elect to lose a couple more damage points, but once he got that regular shield back, I would have liked to see him slay out a little bit more. Instead, it Triggers down, going 3 down, and Tylenol has control of the ball.
Looking at the assists across the board from Space Station, nearly every player at that double-digit mark, 10, 11, 9, you know, coming out from Ace. They really are consistently firing together, and it's showing, but 3 go down. Tylenol left in a familiar position as last alive, and you credited him earlier, milking his life for all it's worth, playing the stall, but Triggers down aren't allowing it in this case. They're going to keep the pressure on, steal away that oddball, and they're right at the time mark, right there, 41-41, taking back the lead in round 2.
And I love this rotation from Neighbor over to B. He could have maintained ball control at A, but if you lose the team, if your team goes down and you lose map control, you're just giving the ball back to the other team at A. And at this point, it could be the finishing touches on the game. So love that rotation from Neighbor here to keep his team in it here. Practically tied now with an early lead and ball control here in round 2.
Neighbor was really trying to survive at the back of B, but the pinch came through from Space Station. However, Nebula is going to be the one sneaking away the oddball. Collect with the sniper.
Wow.
Gets a beautiful, quick body shot, allowing Suppress to come through, grab that fresh overshield, and Tylenol scoops up the ball. I just love Space Station Gaming. Each person playing a separate role, but how well they work together in harmony. Collect with the body shots to provide cover, allowing Suppress to pick up the overshield, and then that in turn allowing Tylenol to pick up the oddball. I mean, it's just a great team play coming through from them. Kills going back and forth though. It's 2 and 2. Ace gets a nice pickup, but it looks like Space Station Gaming maybe a favorable spawn. They have multiple players in the back of A. Ace picks up the ball, but he doesn't have much help from his team. He's stalling for as long as he can. The help comes through. Collect with the double kill, giving him enough time to stay alive with the oddball in hand.
Yeah, Ace, a point scorer, as much as he was a distraction for his team there as Triggers down, looked to put the emphasis on that small door. Instead, they had SSG teammates just laying in wait there. Great job baiting and milking that oddball there from Ace and friends as Suppress goes down. 2 down for SSG here. Tylenol looking to tilt the favor back in his team's control. But it's oddball control again into the hands of Triggers down here. Would love to maybe see another one of those B setups here. They seem to do pretty well last time with that. They're going to need to take down Ace if they want to get control of B.
Hysteria is trying to do just that, to rotate the ball, but no, Ace wins out that 1v1, and at the end of the day, losing your 1v1s can be the difference between a win and a loss, you know, and if taken down in that situation, it's going to give the ball back over to Space Station Gaming. They need about 12 seconds left on the clock. Collect in a great position here, just below Cuts, watching for the rotation, calling out as he sees Huss breaking through. Hopefully going to clean up that kill, but he's being shot in the back at the same time. Nowhere for him to rotate, nowhere to hide. Now Suppressed finds himself last alive. He is melted as well, and Triggers down get a last second hold on this oddball.
Yeah, don't look now, but Trigger's down with every opportunity to come back in this game. They've got the heat wave, and the bank actually goes the opposite direction. Got stuck right at the little crevice. A matter of just inches. Hear the difference in this series as Coach Cobb takes down Collect with the no-scope. Suppressed, back of the head. It gets the double. Looking for the triple and a potential Quigley over. No, oh my goodness. I saw it line up for just a split second, and that's all I need to get really excited as Ace, last member alive at that nest spot. Hysteria gonna take him down, and I don't know if they needed to play that oddball there. Very, very crucial comms. And that one going down in the hands of SSG, I'm gonna have to call it. That might have been a little too soon on that play ball.
I mean, that would be the perfect scenario to go back and clip and try to replay, but they might live to regret that play ball as Space Station win on the reset. They only needed a few seconds. They win it out. So what was going to be a close round 2, SSG steal right back, and with it, they complete that sweep.
Oh, and that's heartbreaking because they got the kill that would have enabled them to maintain that sniper tower control. And here's the thing, the play ball, it's always an option, right? It's not like you don't have to, like, unless the danger is imminent on the oddball, you don't necessarily need to take it down. And I don't see where the danger, I don't see imminent danger there. I think Neb could have dropped ball, looked back at Nest, helped out Hysteria take down Ace. But here's the thing, Hysteria didn't even need the help. He had Ace all on his own.
Well, we do have Collect, though, also on the dummy ramp there. So maybe the call came from Coach Cobb as he is taken down, and they see the pressure coming in from two sides. Hysteria winning out that kill on Ace was crucial, but I don't know if it would have ultimately been enough as the pressure was also coming in from that dummy side ramp as well. It's kind of a woulda, coulda, shoulda. Not sure how that could have played out differently, but maybe a little bit of a panic or rush on the side of that reset.
And that's the right word, panic and rush, because I don't necessarily think the play ball was the wrong play there. I think eventually they would have had to play it because of Collect taking down Cobb and pushing up. It's just that you probably could have held it for another 2 or 3 seconds. I know you're probably thinking like, oh, dude, it's just a couple seconds, man. But my goodness, when you're tied in the end game, a couple extra seconds there is what Triggers Down needed to have a little bit more contesting on that play ball in the middle there. SSG seemingly taking it uncontested because of the timing, because of the rush, because of the panic. And as a result, SSG takes a series